Okay, so margin for error and interpretation. Now we've already established with confidence intervals that our formula is that the population mean is basically can be modelled for our sample mean plus or minus our z result times by sigma over root n. Okay, and I'm assuming you're used to that. Now remember that that bit there is called the standard error. Okay, so this bit here is the margin for error. Okay, so remember that if I want a 95% confidence interval, okay, so we're talking about 95%, what we're looking at is 1.96 sigma over root n. You remember that? Okay, so the margin for error is that. Okay, now the margin for error obviously has to change if we're using a 99% confidence interval or a 90% confidence interval. But the only thing that's going to change is that value there. Okay, now that's it for margin for error, frankly. But I have seen a question where somebody says, what's the margin for error? And everybody panics. Okay, that's the margin for error. Please remember the margin for error is actually not exactly that. It is plus or minus that. Yeah, you can go up by that much, down by that much. Interpretation. I have a company. The company claims contents at least 980 grams. Okay, that's what the company makes the claim for. We do a sample of 50 and we find, and we use a 95% confidence interval, and we find the result for our 95% confidence interval from a sample size of 50 is this: 981.3 mu 985.7. Please interpret the claim. The claim is justified. Okay? And I'll tell you why. We are 95% confident that the sample mean lies between here and here. Sorry, the whole population lies between here and here. That means that this value is lower than that value. Okay, which means that at least 980 is a valid statement to make. We are 95% confident that the population mean lies between 981.3 and 985.7. And so when they claim contents at least 980, we are 95% confident that our value is above that. So because this falls below the lower margin, we are happy. Okay? Now if they said contents average 980, we would now say the claim is false. Okay? Because they've said at least, we would expect a sample to have a mean between here and here, which is greater than that, so this claim is justified. And what we would write is the claim justified? Yes, because the value 980 is below the lower limit, therefore the average is expected to be, I've done my classic paper, to be above 981. Does that make sense? Okay, and that's how we interpret it. Okay?